Hello everyone, Mr. Steckler here. Quick video to help you guys who either were not here or just need a little bit more assistance with lesson 1.0, Microsoft Scavenger Hunt Part 1. So this lesson is all about practicing using the split screen feature of the computer, and the purpose of using the split screen is in order to let you put multiple screens on at the same time so that you can multitask, so you can do different things. So we often see 2 windows at a time. You can use at most 4. This part over here for the vocab list, I'm not going to go through because this is where you're going to talk about your memory, your proof of understanding, but I will go through the vocab list to help you get through the lesson. So second up is grit. Grit is persistence and resilience, which means that when you get knocked down, you get back up and you keep trying. You know, no matter what happens to you, you have to stay tough. You have to do your best to try and overcome any situation. And this is something that's super important in school, especially when getting bad grades or struggling to complete an assignment, or when studying and you're really having a tough time. Grit is something you can fall back on to help you. And the best way to use grit is this little picture over here that's in my room, the how to learn. To learn a new skill, you have to practice it. In order to practice it, you got to make mistakes. And when you make those mistakes, you either know why you made those mistakes or you don't. If you don't, you got to ask for help and fix those mistakes. If you do know, you fix those mistakes and you test a skill. But if you're not good yet, you don't get a good grade or you don't get a good job on that skill, you got to go make more mistakes so you can practice it and question why. Watch YouTube videos to help you. Ask for help from your teacher, from your friends. This how to learn process is a cycle, and you're going over and over and over through this loop until you finally get mastery. So grit's important in school because it follows that cycle. Next up, inserting a table. I still see a lot of people not putting those purple 1x1 tables in, so make sure you insert a purple 1x1 table by going to, for example, Insert, Table, 1x1, and then you right click and you go to Cell Shading and you go to Light Purple. This is where you type the response. So if you do not type the response in this light purple table, you're not going to be given credit. So it's super important. In terms of a red shaded cell over here, you'll notice there's one for 0 over here. This is only giving you instructions. You don't have to do anything besides read it. So the purpose of this cell is just to give instructions. In terms of keeping the format of the table, you'll notice that down below we have a question that's asking you to format a table over here in question 9, and it's telling you that you'll notice in this red table it's only for instructions, that I did not include a third step for the algorithm over here that you need to be giving. Sometimes people think, oh, let me just insert my own table over here, 2x1, I'll drag this over, I'll right click, I'll cell shade this purple, I'll cell shade this gray, it'll look just like the other one. But you'll notice there's this little space here, it's not the same format, so that's in fact not what we want. What we do want you to do is we want you to right click inside the table, and after right clicking inside the table you are going to wait for this to load, and you are going to insert a row below. So in order to insert that row below, you right click inside this table, you go to insert, and you insert row below. You'll notice the formatting is exactly the same. You can continue on for as many steps as you need. You'll notice if you insert row above, that will be inserted above that, so you kind of just have to decide where you need it, and as long as you do it within that same table, it will format it the way that you need. So that is how to insert the row, and that is what you guys are going to write up here for formatting of the table. The reason we right click inside is to keep the format of the table as is. Lastly, the say-do mean reflection is what you guys are doing at the bottom of the document, and this is used to help determine what your notes are used for. It helps you to think about what the notes physically say, what they can help you remember, and how they can help you apply this knowledge in the future. So down below in the summary questions, this is the video that I recommend that you watch, and I recommend watching it in split screen. Is that something that we're learning today, the purpose of multitasking with split screen? But this is what I have prepared for you guys, a little document to show you that your notes say. And an example of what these notes say from what I said was we'll use split screen and whenever we watch a video so we can type and watch at the same time. My notes say red 1x1 tables are used for directions. My notes say how to insert a formatted row in a table. And my notes say the how-do mean summary is. They also say how to have grit in table formatting, how to explain the say-do mean summary technique, and how to split screen. So plenty of things that it says. It also reminds me for what do my notes do, reminds me how to split my screen, reminds me how to format a table, reminds me how to do a say do mean. So these are all things that my notes say me do, and you'll notice I have a lot of details, because the more details you put, the better you're going to be thinking about this information and the better you're going to be able to remember it. Lastly, what do my notes mean? My notes use this how to learn chart to help me and explain the importance of splitting my screen, explain how this chart is grit, teaches how to learn, and lastly how to format tables. So this is the how, this is the say, do, mean summary. That's going to be super important in this class so that you learn how to think of stuff in the future. So that's about it for the documents. Whenever you have a video link over here, you hold down the control button and you left click in order to open it, as it says over here. I'm on a Mac, so it says command click, but for a PC it says control click. And you guys will go through this document, inserting this check mark, copying and pasting this down through every step of the way as you finish it until you are done. So that is this lesson. If you have any questions, please send me an email.